Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Life with Alet. And karibuni sana. In case you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Yes, and today I am with a very good friend of mine, Mr. Davis. I will allow you to introduce yourself.
Mwenda is my good name. Davis rather.
You Mwenda? Mwendwa?
Mwenda. I'm not
You
Kamba.
Meru?
I'm Meru.
Ooh,
Baite in the house.
To all the Merus in the house. Okay, a long time friend of mine, eh? Hey, tulijuana 2011.
12, I think.
It's
Back
been...
in campus.
Imagine.
It was long time.
Wala UN, when you unanikumbusha.
Good days of being young.
And wild.
Good days of being young and wild.
Anyway. Thank you sana for making time to come to my channel.
Karibu sana.
Tunapenda wageni hapa. So
Santi
karibu sana to this channel. Feel free. I hope nimeku welcome vizuri to my channel.
Sana.
So in case you're invited next time, will you be able to come?
Definitely.
Will you create time to come?
Yes, I will.
I love to hear that. And so today we will be discussing a very interesting topic that Mr. Mwenda here came up with, and it's about family and why women are so comfortable raising kids by their own, and the reason as to why men are fearing or rather running away from responsibilities. I think the two things they correlate. I would say the reason as to why women are raising kids on their own is the fact that maybe you have ran away from the responsibilities. So that is what we will be discussing about today. And what one thing I will ask you is the fact that what is maybe one of the things that maybe you feel women are so comfortable raising kids by themselves. What is maybe that one thing?
I'll say the society, maybe. Social media also has played a big role. And I don't think we really have quite strong single moms celebrities out there that are actually putting a clear image to the young kids, the young girls, all girls that are okay being single moms. You know, I feel like social media has created this gap that has allowed men and women to go so far apart from each other that women have become really comfortable being single moms. And men are running away because one, they are either not appreciated or rather they are not feeling like they are playing the role they are supposed to
be playing, maybe in a relationship,
in a full family setup. Yes.
Okay.
So I think society and the social media platforms and the people girls are actually looking up to.
Yeah, the people we call role models.
Exactly. I wouldn't say they're the right people per se. I'm not saying they're wrong or they're evil people, but I don't think they're the kind of people I would want, if I had a daughter, to look up to as their role model.
So we would give examples by the way. We would give
mentioning names.
We are not mentioning names. But one thing I feel, sometimes women find themselves being single parents. It's not by their own liking, but sometimes they just find themselves. Maybe you had planned out, maybe let's say you just have an oops baby, you are not ready as a guy to be a father. And maybe probably my gut tells me I need to keep this baby, so in the long run I'll have to keep the baby and I will have to I have made that decision to raise this kid. And maybe psychologically I might not be prepared, but now I have to be prepared now. I'm going to be raising this kid alone, and you won't be part of, maybe as much as you are part of the act, maybe you're not ready to be a father and I'll have to take up the role of a father and a mother. So I would say sometimes it's not women liking, sometimes they just find themselves due to situations, and sometimes this situation might be also brought about by maybe our parents also, maybe for example, me, as we are good, maybe we were dating, but now there's a pregnancy here, and maybe my parents are no, you can't marry our daughter, because of reasons known maybe better to them, maybe because of culture differences, maybe because of belief systems. So you find yourself raising that kid. They prefer as the grandparents to even raise the kid even on your behalf.
But don't you think when it comes to, for example, let's go back where you said you had an oops baby.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's both your responsibility, you and the man involved, to sit down and agree this child does not need to suffer a mistake, or rather this child does not need to know they were an oops baby. So either if the man is ready or not, you should both take responsibility. You should both endeavor to take care of that child together, even when things are not working, because people are so quick to leave relationships. People are so quick nowadays to give up, because you see this idea of options out there is also something else that is really ruining good relationships.
Very true.
So I'm also thinking when it comes to culture difference, from the first time up or from the beginning of your relationship, you and the man, those are some of the topics that should have been discussed.
But you see, this is not like a sort of maybe like a relationship. We were just having fun. We were just having sex. So in this aspect, and you really don't see me like maybe being the mother. Okay, being the mother, or okay, you have this perception of the kind of mother you want for your kids. But when you look at me, yes, you were having fun with me, but you don't see how you could live the rest of your life with me. So in that case, what am I supposed to do as the lady? I'm just supposed to accept. And
well, when you put it that way, if you two are having fun, and in most cases when the man is having fun, they are definitely not expecting a baby. But now it has happened.
Yes.
It has happened.
Yes.
I think the best thing would be, let the man be a part of the family. Let the man be a part of the child. Unless totally the man does not want, or the man runs away. But then again, a man who runs away from their responsibility is a coward, is a sissy. Sorry to say.
You're talking from a perspective whereby you are a nice guy. I know you for so many years and you're a nice guy. But maybe. How many men out there do you think are running away from responsibilities?
Well, so many men are running away from responsibilities.
Exactly.
That's true. That's something that I think one thing is in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, women have been empowered so much.
As compared to the
boy child. So boy child have been left with so much doubt in them. Boy child, and also this thing of single moms. For example, I know most people from back in 90s were raised by single moms.
Single moms. Actually, research has it, in the 1950s, only 5% in the world, like people used to be raised by single women. When it comes to the 1960s, I think it went up to 15%. But come 1990, I think as at 2012, as I can remember, research has it 78%.
Wow.
The curve has risen all the way up to 78%, and it leaves us wondering what went wrong in between 1990 to maybe the 21st generation, you know. And I tend to think also it is brought about by the fact that us growing up, the kind of system that was there, you know, growing up, our parents were so focused on, like, you know, providing for the kids, you know.
For the kids.
And I, like me being an example, I think my dad never used to work near us. So he used to go like on Monday and come back on Fridays, you know. So in between the week, the only person we had maybe was our mom. But one thing I applaud about my dad is the fact that on Friday, like, he would make sure the weekend was a weekend that the kids had to remember from Monday to Friday, you know. He was there, as much as he was not there in between the week, but he played his part over the weekend. But what of the circumstances whereby your dad was not like an available dad, you know.
You only see him
once a year, and this is brought about
once in 3 years.
This is
actually I think that's one of the major reasons, because most of the men nowadays don't have a father figure to look up to. And most of our uncles, sorry to say, relatives are not the easiest people to approach. Relatives are usually not people with the best of intentions.
Very true.
Most men grew up with only
like a mother figure in their life.
Mom was there, but there was no father figure. Most of us, actually, I was raised by a single mom, and I know most of my advice about men and boys came from friends, came from other youths in school, came from Yeah,
I
from
even
other
applaud you
youths
the
in
fact that
church.
you were brought up by a single mom, and the way like we interact, like you see a whole perspective. You love marriage, you love love.
Yeah.
It's rare to find that kind of. Where can you say like you get the motivation from, or rather, who were your mentors? Like maybe when you were growing up.
I'll say probably my sister, because I've seen her
Who is
marriage
also a
work.
lady.
Yes.
Yes.
And I've
But
seen
did
her
you have like
marriage work.
a male figure like maybe who was there and you would say they have contributed to the person you are right now?
Probably people I went to church with,
Okay.
my elder brother, because those were the only male figures in my life, because my father was not in my life.
Yeah.
So I used to look up to either my church elders or my school teachers who are male figures that actually molded me. And my big brother actually played a big role in my life. Then there came my sister's husband, who became a true brother.
Okay.
You see, so I have actually looked up to him a lot. So I think that along the way, I did not get lost. Because also my mom was strict. As much as she was a lady, she's a lady that raised me as a single mom, she was strict. And anytime she would see me and my brother stray, she would always either get a male figure to take us back to either the chief, either a church elder. She always made sure there was a male figure that tried to get us back to online. But you know, there are so many men that were raised by single moms but didn't get that chance.
Oh yeah, true.
The mom was like, huyu ashakuwa mlevi, wacha aende, atarudi, atafunzwa na dunia. Yeah, you see, so many mothers, that's why I think we lost it. Because as I know, as much as I was raised by a single mom, there are core values that I really adhere to. There are values that I have instilled in myself, and there are values that I've learned along the way that I would want to be and to do. So I don't think, at the end of the day, it's also up to you. As much as you're brought up by a single mom.
Oh yeah, it's a choice.
It's
as
a
you
choice.
grow by,
as you grow,
you pick up what you want to happen in your life. You know,
exactly.
This is good, this is bad, but you choose which way to go.
Yeah.
And also you can't sit down somewhere and keep on like blaming, you know, the fact that maybe I was brought up by a single mom, my dad was not there, he didn't want to be part of my life. You can't sit down and start blaming of what happened in the past. The past has happened. It's upon you to take the step of like, you know, let's move forward from here. What do I want? Do I want to be a good dad? Yes. Do I want to be a good brother? Yes. Do I want to be a good husband? Yes. So this, I tend to think as much as we would try to blame it on, you know, the society, you know, where you were brought up, I think it's a personal choice. It gets to a point.
It's a personal choice.
Yeah, you have to choose.
Yeah.
Another thing as to why I would say women are so comfortable raising kids on their own is the fact that, for example, I come today and tell you, you know what, Davis, I am pregnant, and you at first you're so excited about it. You're like, okay, we are going to do this. But somewhere along the way, you realize, I think I was not financially ready for a baby. I was not emotionally ready for a baby. I was not financially ready for a family. I was not financially ready to raise a baby. So what happens is the fact that you now become a seasonal kind of father. You come in my life, promise maybe my daughter, my son something, then when you're not able to fulfill it, you just go away. Then when you're doing okay, you come back. Now you become a seasonal kind of dad. And that instead of me like having this kid and like maybe having to cause trauma to this kid, or rather to keep on asking myself, why does my dad goes and comes back? At some point he's so good, at some point when I ask him, he's not. So I'll rather raise the child alone for him or her to know, you know what, mom and dad is everything. Okay, I wouldn't say like I can't be everything as the mom and as the dad.
Yeah.
There are things like the dad is supposed to do, but instead of like maybe causing that trauma to my child, I prefer to just raise the kid on my own, you know, because I don't want like a seasonal father. If this is a decision like you have really made, you want to be in this kid's life, I think it's only, even in the good and the bad, you should be able to to show up for the kid.
Yeah.
And also when you see like seasonal dads, what I have come to see is like they also have a sort of a daddy issue from home, you know. Also their dad like maybe was a seasonal father, and that is why you see grandfathers compensating to their grandchild, because they know somewhere along the way there's somewhere they failed for their son. So what they try to do is compensate for their grandchildren, you know. They don't want whatever their son have become to be like they're
instilled on the grandchildren,
because grandfathers, they come heavily when it comes to, you know, I feel like as a dad, so I'll have to give the best to my grandson, you know, and hope like it won't be the case to the son, like it won't be the case for his son. Do you quite agree with that?
Well, I'll say I don't think, first of all, let me go back to where you said maybe the man was financially not ready.
Yes.
Or rather the man thought they were ready, then along the process they realized they were not ready.
Yes.
I don't think even a woman is ever ready for a baby. I don't think anyone is ever ready for a baby.
Yeah.
But if you really want to keep a baby, you have to be prepared for the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
You cannot just be
but
there.
But that is only for the sane, you know, like maybe you have faced your traumas, you are sane, you are emotionally stable. That is when the only time maybe it happens to be like you're ready for that.
But then again, at the end of the day, it comes back to it's your choice. It's a personal choice you have to make. Plus, you cannot keep making other people suffer your mistake. Because now, walking out of this baby, because you've not healed from your traumas, you're making them suffer your mistakes.
Yes, very true.
You're supposed to work on your mistakes, then come as a whole. And even if you're not fully whole, at least make sure your mistakes don't make other people suffer.
True. But truth be told, how many men embrace something like therapy?
Well, how many men embrace
in the African culture? In the African culture, it looks like maybe you're mad, you know, you're depressed or everything.
To someone else about your issues.
Exactly. But how many more so? If you have been to therapy sessions, how many men embrace therapy?
Very few.
Very few men.
1%.
You know, and that is why I'm saying the reason as to why maybe kids continue to suffer, it's because you as a guy, you don't want to face the reality, which is like, you know, I have an issue like me as Davis, like I have an issue and I need to address it, I need to face it. So until you yourself, some even don't have the capability of sitting down and even seeing it's their mistake. Exactly. In fact, they just project it
on other people.
More so to your direct partner. True or false?
True, very true.
You know, like the minute I come and tell you, you know what, as your babe, you know what, I don't think there's somewhere, like I'm not, Nakwanza, I think I'm going to put it in such a way like it won't even hurt you. I think, babe, there's somewhere here and there I feel like you're not okay. How about we try therapy? You're like, oh, sasa nimekuwa mwenda wazimu. Like now we are going to sort out. It's there. I have seen it. It's there.
Yeah, it's true.
You don't want to embrace first like you have an issue, and before you even like maybe be a good dad to this human, you need to also first of all accept you're not okay. You're not okay. Yes, and accept yourself.
Well, true, but at the end of the day, as much as I might agree to go to therapy,
yes,
but then at the back of my mind, I know I'm not planning on changing.
Oh yeah, there's also that.
Yes. You might go to therapy
and it won't even work out.
It won't work out because first, I'm not accepted. First, I'm not ready to work on my issues. And second, maybe I'm thinking, why are you telling me my issues? You also have your issues, you know? Like, that's the mentality that we have. Most people, that's the mentality they have. But then again, at the end of the day, when someone really tries to tell you about an issue, I've realized most times it's from
a good place.
It's from a point of love.
Yes.
They are not telling you to bring you down. But then the society these days is built up in such a way that everything looks like the other person is trying to bring you down. The other person is tearing you down.
Yeah, true.
So it's really not easy to take positive criticism. It's not always every time that your friend has good intentions.
Very true. Very true.
It's not every time people are clear with their intentions.
Yeah, true.
So it's quite an appeal for the African man, for any man, especially men that have never been parents before.
Oh yeah, yeah. And actually, as I told you earlier on, there's somebody who was asking me like, how do you tackle these topics? And yet, first of all, you're not even married. Second of all, you don't even have a kid. You know. And back in my head, as I keep on saying out here, these are our opinions. I am not married. I don't have a kid. And for somebody to even challenge me and tell me that, I'm like, yeah, this is my opinion, and I'm not imposing it to anybody. You know. We are just here to discuss, you know, what we see in our worldview, how we see the world, you know. So I'm not imposing it to anybody. I am not married. Yes, please. I am not married, and I don't have a kid yet. But these are our opinions.
Exactly, and this is what we are seeing happening. Yes. We are trying to address issues that.
Yes, we want by the time we are there.
We at least do have
better.
A clue. Exactly.
Yes, we do better. So the next thing would be on the fact that there is this notion for single independent women that is really, you know, a woman thrives so well when she's doing so much on her own. You know, there's not so much like you know, more so like maybe you are a CEO at a company. You're so used to calling the shots.
You don't think you can bring yourself down
to just be controlled. Okay, not really like not controlled, like
but
to be told to compromise for some things, you know. So there's this you even here go to companies and now they're like, you know what, now we are hiring a lot of women because you know what, they're the ones who they are left with the kids, you know, like to raise, you know. So there's this so much singlehood, you know, Miss Independent kind of notion that is bringing.
That's what I was even saying. If you look back to the last 5 years, there has been so much empowering of the girl child.
Yes.
Boy child is left hanging, does not even know what to do with the empowered woman.
Oh yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
You empower one gender, you forget the other gender,
the other one, yes.
And then the other gender becomes so dominant. There's a big miss in the society at the end of the day. Because if you empower one person and leave the other and you expect them to bring you the same results, it will not be possible.
Very true.
So as much as being single, independent is kind of working out, for how long does it work out?
The question is for how long?
For how long?
Yeah.
For how long? How many of these women that end up becoming sugar mummies, we see them all over town with Bentens.
And nowadays they're not even hiding.
They're not even hiding.
We have sugar babies, we have sugar mummies. Like it's
so
not
out there.
It's everywhere right now.
But you see, those are the women that back in their prime time, they thought being single and independent was the way to go.
Was the real thing.
But somewhere along the way, they realized there's something they're missing in their life. But you see, not to sound spiritual, religious, even the Bible, even the Quran says God created man and woman. Yes. You see, God created man to be a woman's companion and the vice versa.
Yes.
And there's a reason a woman came from the man's side. Ribs. Yes, so that they can be companions, they can be equals.
Yes.
So when one is left alone, they are either more empowered or not empowered at all.
Yeah.
So as much as single and independent is good, my question is for how long?
Question is for how long?
For how long?
Yeah.
Ama you end up being the sugar mommy in the near future.
So this is what I see oftenly.
Yeah.
You know, like you're a Miss Independent out there, which is something nice. Ladies, get your bag.
Please
please get your bag. Let nobody tell you anything, but get your bag. That is very key. But I come to you, I'm a sugar mommy, like I have all the money in the world. I can even buy a sperm from you. Then I get the baby. Along the way, I have heard women say it's not even about having the money, it's about having somebody to even support you.
Yeah.
You know?
The emotional
bit part of you might be having, but you just need somebody to even hold a baby for, not even the nanny or anything, a baby who you know, like, I can trust you with this baby.
Their love is genuine for the baby.
Exactly. Just hold the baby for 10, 20 minutes for me. I do this, then And as you grow older, you even realize companionship go away. In fact, when you're starting a relationship, it's so rosy nini. Then mnafika pahali ile stage yenye like you guys mnagombana, it's like you don't understand each other anymore. It's not like, then when you're at your old age, the love really comes back. It becomes so real, it becomes so genuine, so strong. And I think I have heard from a single, they wish, like from single parents, they wish like maybe they got married. As much as they have kids they leave them, and now they are left on their own, you know. And they wish like maybe if I had somebody on, you know, I'm getting old, I need company, because once you're in your 60s, in your 70s, all you need is like company, for that person to be there, okay, hapo mchape story the whole time. And now you crave for that genuine companionship, you know,
because at the end of the day, no one wants to be alone.
Exactly.
No one wants to die alone. Like, there's so much to accomplish with a partner.
Very true.
Rather than being single. Because when you're single, honestly, when you're single, even when you're dating, in your early 20s, in your early 30s, when you're single, there's always something amiss. There's always that thought of, ningekuwa na mwenda, angenisaidia ABCD.
Oh yeah, true.
Ningekuwa na mwenda, angenichanua hapa kunaenda. Ningekuwa na mwenda, angenibebea hii fridge si have kulipa watu. Ningekuwa na mwenda, angekuwa shaeka hii screen kwa ukuta. But now, I have to pay someone to mount a TV for me. I have to pay someone to screw something in the house for me. I have to pay the
sometimes
caretaker.
You miss, you know, sometimes you miss the masculine energy around you. You do. That one I will admit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you miss the masculine energy. Just somebody, you know, anakuja kwa nyumba and you feel enyewe, that's I have missed that, you know. So yeah, it's interesting.
Plus also this thing of women just asking men for sperm donors. It's so demoralizing. There's nothing as bad as knowing niliuza mbegu yangu mahali. Kuna mtoto wangu mahali.
From a man perspective.
As in, from a man's perspective, I would rather we have sex, you get pregnant and you never tell me about it.
And
or I never find out, you go raise the child somewhere else. Rather than me living knowing I donated my sperm somewhere.
It kills you.
There's a child somewhere, I don't even know them, but you know there's your blood somewhere. Ay, man, that's so demoralizing.
For real?
I would rather you tell me we try a relationship.
If it doesn't work out.
If a baby is the result of that relationship and it doesn't work out, we try. Okay. At least we have something, we have a bond. We have a baby that we look after even if we are separate. But then this idea of, can I buy your sperms? Man! That's not independence.
Okay, wait. Have you been approached for you to
I have. I have been approached by several women. Like, Mwanda, I just want your sperm. Like, hell no. That's so demoralizing. Wow. As in, you know, literally that person has told you the only thing you're good for is just your donation.
There's also this aspect, to flip it on the other side, you know. There are men out there, they see Alex and they say, oh, Alex can make a very good mother.
But not with me in the picture.
But no, they might also want to be in the picture. But, you know what? I know I'm going to provide for her. I'm going to give her she's going to make the best mom out here. So, let me allow her to get the baby. I will take care of her until maybe the baby is 4 years. Then I go have my then later on in life I will come back. There's also that. But there are women you see out here and you're like, you know what? That is the mother of my kids. But apart from, I want to have my cake and my piece of cake and eat it, you know? They make perfect. Atakuja, impregnate you and anajua, like, you know what? Mtakanaye kidogo, there are guys you don't see past maybe like 4 years into like having a child. You can't see yourself, you know, like having to compete maybe even for that affection with the kids, nini. You can't even keep up with kids running in the house, nini. So he will provide for you financially and everything that you need, but he won't be in the picture. Aende aishi maisha yake as a bachelor out there. Then later on in life, when he becomes so lonely, he comes back.
But then again, there are such men. But at the end of the day, you see, you're making selfish decisions. You're not thinking about that baby's emotional life or things that baby might require from both parents. Because at the end of the day, if there's something I've come to make a conclusion of, and you can correct me, there's no child who wants to be raised by just one parent.
Very true.
Every
Very
child
true.
wants both parents in their lives.
Very true.
And there's a very big importance for both parents in
To
one's
be there
life.
in one's life. Very
Yeah.
true. Very true.
So I don't think it's okay for you to make selfish decisions whereby you come, get Alex pregnant, take care of the baby 5 years, disappear, come back on your 50 or 60. Now you want to take care of the baby. You have no idea what they've been doing the last 10 or 20 years of their lives.
And you want to heavily come and compensate for
You
the
cannot
years
compensate.
you lost.
You cannot compensate for even a year, leave
Yeah,
alone
very
20
true,
years.
very true.
You cannot compensate for 20 years.
Another thing as to why I think men are also like running away from responsibilities is the fact that guys have been babied a lot.
Well, true.
You have been babied a lot, you know. My son, my son, my son, my son, you know, my son. There was
Mama's
something-
boys.
Yes, my son do this, my
My son. That's a bad thing. That's what I was saying. This thing of
Oh
we
my
are raising
God.
a generation of sissies.
And everything that the mom says, I have been a victim of that. Everything the mom says is what gets down. Doesn't matter you are the wife, you're the girlfriend, you're the fiance. It doesn't matter. Whatever the mom says, it's a tick.
One thing I'll say.
You take your mother's opinion so much into heart that even my emotions don't even count.
That's what I'm saying. But the one thing I usually say, or I usually strive anytime I'm in a relationship, there are topics that people shun
Overlook, yes.
and overlook that they actually should sit and talk.
Exactly.
Like before we start dating, before we even decide to bring a baby into the picture, can we talk about our cultural differences? Can we talk about our social statuses? Are your parents at the end of the day going to be okay with you dating someone earning kidogo money than you
are?
or someone who is not from a prominent family, or someone who is not from a well family? Can we have those topics discussed between the two parties before people even go to make babies? You know, can we sit and talk about Alex ni mrefu kuniliko? Is it okay? You know, can we sit down and talk about mimi nakulanga chakula asubuhi, wewe unakunywanga chai pekee asubuhi? Can we talk about these issues?
Ama niuletee mtoto wa watu kuje unamtesa.
Nianze kuambia natesa. Maybe we have different ways of doing life.
Yeah.
And then again, at the end of the day, we also need to talk about what are we willing to compromise. And what are we not willing to compromise?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, I honestly would say relationships
It's
are
about compromise.
60% compromise.
Yeah.
You're accepting the other person, you're accepting their behaviors, you're accepting their strengths, their weaknesses.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, you know, I might accept so much for you, but you've not sat down and talked about it. And at the end of the day, you can actually decide to wake up and be like, mi sikukwambia ukubali hizi vitu.
Oh, wow.
You see? Like, mi sikukwambia compromise.
That would be heartbreaking.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Talk about important issues during your rosy time.
Sikupelekwa date, babe got me this, sijui, where are we going, sijui, where...
You're fully in.
I'm
Just
in love.
because baby
I'm
bought
in
you
love.
flowers, Valentine akakupeleka sijui wapi, in love. But you never really asked them, will I be getting these flowers every time mama ni once?
Exact, once in a year, you know.
Will I be getting dates every now and then, mama ni twice a year?
Have the toughest, you know, like, let's say I'm pregnant. Stella has been 50 kgs all her life. Now
Exactly.
she's 70 kgs. Will you take that?
Talk about the ulipenda Stella akiwa
I'm skinny.
chupa ya Coca-Cola. are not advertising anyone. Ulipata akiwa na kae ile figure.
Now I'm 70 kgs after childbirth. Will you be able to take me?
Those are the things that people need to talk about when they are having those, when the relationship is actually new.
Yeah.
That's the best time to talk about those issues.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait until Stella amepata mtoi akona sasa alikuwa ka flat tummy sahi sasa akona baby fat. Sasa all of a sudden umeanza kumtafutia makosa.
Sijui ati you need to hit the gym,
you need to go to the gym. Those are things we actually need to talk about.
Yeah,
that's true. Why.
And also being comfortable with who you are, because right now me, like the way I know myself, me if you come and tell me, you know what, Alex, June, I will take it in a both positive and a negative. If I'm not feeling comfortable about my body, I will hit the gym. But you're not going to give me the pressure to go hit the gym.
I feel like people who tell other people things about their bodies are usually insecure about themselves.
Even insensitive.
And insensitive.
They anything to do with your body, with your sijui height, with your sijui, no. Anything to physical, the way somebody looks, can you just leave it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But men, it's true you have so many sissies. Sorry to call them, but that's what they are. So many mama's boys. But at the end of the day, I wish you could have much more programs for men that for women. Because every other time you
we have branch for women.
There is Inua Dada, Dada Metokelezea, Dada Initiative. How many initiatives do we have for men? There was actually one Man Enough. But I don't know what's happened to it. I don't know if it's active anymore. You tell men to kutaneni tuongee tukikula nyama.
But do you guys even show up? If
men will not show up.
If there is one thing I applaud, there is something that Mantalk is doing that I really applaud. Imagine something like Mantalk, if they came up with like a program whereby like you guys will meet as the guys, then do all the stuff, maybe talk about cars, talk about... They are there, maybe sometimes it's kwa sababu
usually
you tend
they start maybe the first 2-3 meetings people are excited, but then men being men they start naenda huko kuongelea issues.
I have been to these programs, and what I have realized, even if like you guys you're invited, in fact it's ladies who show up
more than the men.
More than them. Even if they in fact in the entertainment industry, if the people who support the entertainment industry is the women, not even the men. I don't know where the men you are. Ama mkoko mnanunua mashamba huko mnajenga. I don't know, but once in a while,
baby mamas here and there.
Once in a while, I think it's good to show up, have fun. You know, even you'll sort of hear like some say. Even like sijui for a man who's having like a skincare routine, that's so sijui sort of like umama nini umekaliwa chapati. There's nothing like that, you know. It's appreciating yourself like as a guy. But I think
the other day I met some guys having a discussion. They were like, mi siwezi enda kupewa massage, mi siwezi enda salon kutengenezwa mikono, and you're left wondering. At the end of the day, it's your body, it's you taking care of you. At the end of the day, no one will come to take care of your body.
Very true.
So some of these things, they are not meant for women. Because I remember kitambo, my grandpa used to give us stories vile walikuwa wanaenda mtoni wanaume, wanapakana matope, wanalala kwa jua, wanakauka na hiyo matope, then wanaingia kwa rive. It's the same thing, just that nowadays
it's
you don't have to go to the rive.
Yeah, it's a different
There's a massage parlor you can go to, get your body smeared with mud. You know, those things used to happen, just that technology has advanced.
Yes, very true.
So at the end of the day, I think we should have more initiatives for men as many as there are
we'll
for
advocate
women.
for that.
Please
we will advocate. That is something we are going to. So if I call out today for a branch for men, how many of your friends are you sure they are going to come? How many? Like, let's be real.
Let's be real. Maybe 2 or 3 out of my 10 friends.
But if I call the ladies, I'm so sure 50, 60.
A friend will bring a friend,
Exactly.
A friend will bring a friend.
Yes.
But men, they even shun away from telling their fellow men, niaje hiyo weekend kuna haka ka event tuende. You see, plus men are so work oriented, they are so out there,
they're so
hustling,
focused on
they are so focused on one area of their life, they
forget
neglect
about
all
the
the other
other.
areas of their
Very
lives.
true, very
Yeah,
true.
because mama wants this, baby mama wants this, girlfriend wants this, wewe mwenyewe unataka kiatu. So we focus so
and
much
why
on...
do you have all of them by there in the first place? You have a baby mama, you have a wife, you have sijui. Why?
That's what I'm saying. That's the society we are in today. And that's why we are trying to better the next generation. At least not to have the kind of a generation we have right now. Because the generation right now, you'll find a man has a wife, 3 other baby mamas, and a girlfriend on the side. You see? And then you're left wondering,
where are the priorities?
Where are the priorities?
Oh, wow.
What happened? Because then again, at the end of the day, this goes back to having a male figure in your life. That is why it's important to have both your parents in your life.
Yeah, I keep on saying I conform to the things that I have seen before. And I remember it's something that my dad keeps on telling my brother, you know. I don't think kwa nyumba utakuwa kichwa ngumu uchukue after nani.
Exactly.
My brother hasn't grown up like knowing this. In fact, unatuletea 2 wives as who? Exactly. Have you seen anybody do that in our family?
Who's the role model?
Who's the role model who have showed you you can have 2 wives?
Yeah.
Who's the role model anaweza kuonesha you can have a wife and a side chick?
Mama.
Like that doesn't happen in our family. So I think we conform to the things that we have seen growing up.
Yeah, true.
And as I told you before, to me as Alex, I believe in this thing of cheating. It's all in the system. It's all trickles down to a generational kind of thing, and where you started, where you come from, you know.
Yeah.
So for people who are grounded and people who have come from like very strict families, very complete families, it's very hard to see, to see these kind of things. But here we are to the world. We have to conform to whatever peer tunaona and adjust to what. But we can only do the best.
Yeah.
Yes, and as I said before, we are not here. We are not experts, by the way.
We are not. We are just expressing our opinions.
We are just expressing our opinions. Because I've been getting some backlash here and there. People asking me, "Hey, who are you?" Like, easy.
Why are you talking about?
Why are you talking about such
issues?
issues? I'm not married and I don't even have kids. I am talking because I want to be a better person. Let me put it out there.
Yeah.
I'm not even imposing it to anybody, by the way.
We just want to do better.
We want to do better as human beings. Yes. So, and it's been interesting, guys. Thanks, Davis, for having this and sharing this.
Thank you.
I thought it would be the best person to have you coming from a single mom and you being the man that you are, kwa sababu I know who you are. Asante sana for what you're doing. Somebody will be lucky to have you.
I'll be so happy.
I'm so sure I'm going to give you your flowers when you're still here. Somebody will be so lucky to have you.
I appreciate that.
So thank you very
much.
So thank
and you're a good friend as well.
Oh,
we've been friends for
since 2011.
Over 10 years.
Yeah, it's been over 10.
Over
Actually,
10 years.
It's
12
years now. Oh wow. I think I keep my friendships and
yes, you do.
I keep my friendships and what I do is like when I am mad at maybe a friend, because it doesn't mean like we haven't have our ups and downs like in the friendship. I just go silent. No, I go silent on you. But when we talk again, we will talk and address the issue, you know, and we move on. Like I'm learning so much to when I am mad, I don't talk. Like let me calm down. And from there, we can talk when need comes for us to talk. You know. So thank you, Davis, for making time. I really appreciate.
Thank you for having me.
As I said in my previous video, my friends come through for me. Oh my God, my friends come so through for me. And I think it's because about the respect I have for you guys. And a good friend, you are appreciated being a good friend.
Exactly.
So and in case guys you haven't like subscribed to this channel,
please do. Press.
So subscribe to Life with Alex. Imagine for these conversations. I'm hoping by the end of this year, tunaweza hold a month's conference, a month's brunch, courtesy of Alex. That would be
a highlight of the year.
I know, right?
Yeah.
How many friends do you promise to bring along?
I'll bring 10.
Are you sure?
Promise, yes.
Okay, you just
remind me.
You just
10.
did it on my channel.
Yes.
10. If I host a brunch today, 10 of your friends will
10 of my friends are coming.
Sure.
That I assure you. Take that to the bank.
So guys, thank you so much. So in case, as I have said, you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Also share this content, you know, usijiwekea peke yako.
Please
Share here and there, comment pale kwa comment section,
ambia ndugu yako, ambia
ambia
anko
sister
yako,
yako, ambia cousin yako, ambia ambia boyfriend yako, ambia girlfriend yako. Go subscribe to Life with Alex and let's keep on pushing, you know. So yeah, and until next time guys, bye.